How Eala's win over Diana Yastremska sets her up for deep run in Indian Wells Open. Eala proved she could withstand a stern test on the hard courts of the BNP Paribas Open. Playing her first match as a seeded player in a WTA 1000 event, the 20-year-old Filipina battled past Diana Yastremska 7-5, 4-6, 7-5 in the round of 64 on Saturday afternoon at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. The victory marked Eala's second straight win over the Ukrainian following her dominant quarterfinal triumph at the Lexus Eastbourne Open last year, but this encounter proved far more grueling as both players traded momentum across three tightly contested sets. The opening frame was a baseline chess match early, with both players exchanging breaks and finding themselves tied at 3-3 after 6 games. Yastremska relied on her aggressive ground strokes to dictate rallies, while Eala countered with sharp angles and her reliable two-handed backhand. Eala appeared to seize control late in the set, breaking for a 5-3 advantage. But Yastremska quickly clawed back, breaking in the 10th game to level the score at 5-5. The Filipina steadied herself in the crucial moments, however, earning another break in the 12th game to pocket the opener. Yastremska responded in the second set behind her power game. The Ukrainian broke serve in the opening game and rode that momentum to a 4-1 cushion. Eala attempted to close the gap by pushing the score to 4-3, but the experienced 25-year-old kept her composure to force a deciding set. The final set produced the biggest moment of resilience for Eala. Trailing 4-5 and facing the pressure of serving to stay in the match, she strung together 3 consecutive games to complete the comeback and seal the hard-earned victory. The gritty win could serve as the ideal tune-up for Eala as she prepares for a much tougher challenge in the next round. Awaiting the Filipina in the round of 32 is a rematch with Coco Gauff, who previously dominated their encounter at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships earlier this season. In that meeting, Gauff's elite court coverage and relentless baseline pressure forced Eala into shorter rallies and defensive positions, preventing the young Filipina from dictating points the way she usually prefers. That is where the match against Yastremska becomes valuable preparation. Yastremska's aggressive baseline approach and high-risk serving forced Eala to navigate extended rallies and absorb power from the backcourt. The Ukrainian blasted 8 aces during the match but also committed 15 double faults, creating a rhythm that constantly shifted between explosive offense and costly mistakes. For Eala, that meant staying mentally sharp on return games and capitalizing whenever opportunities appeared, an element that will be crucial against a player like Gauff. From a tactical standpoint, Eala will likely need to lean on her strengths, particularly her precise backhand and ability to redirect pace, to challenge the American. Gauff thrives when rallies become predictable from the baseline, using her speed and defensive instincts to turn defense into offense. To counter that, Eala must vary her shot selection, mix angles, and attack shorter balls earlier in rallies. And if those lessons carry over into Eala's next match, Indian Wells could provide the stage for a much more competitive showdown against Gauff, and perhaps the opportunity for redemption. Emma Raducanu enjoyed a triumphant display in Indian Wells with a comprehensive 6-1, 6-3 victory over Anastasia Zakharova to reach the last 32. Raducanu arrived at the WTA 1000 tournament on a 3-match losing streak and eager to rediscover form after her January split from coach Francisco Roig. With old ally Mark Petchey again in the corner of the British number 1 on an ad hoc basis, Raducanu produced a superb performance to ease past qualifier Zakharova at the BNP Paribas Open. Wearing a light blue outfit produced by new Japanese sponsor Uniqlo, an ace in Raducanu's opening service game was a sign of things to come. The world number 24 followed this up with an immediate break against Zakharova before she eased into a 3-0 lead. Zakharova got on the board in the next service game, but Raducanu sent down another ace before she broke again to earn approval from the onlooking Petchey. The first set was wrapped up in 32 minutes, and Raducanu claimed a break in the third game of the second set. Way too early Grand Slam predictions for the rest of 2026. Emma Raducanu joins exclusive list of tennis stars after switching from Nike to Uniqlo. Emma Raducanu splits from coach Francis Roig after just 6 months. With Raducanu's ball striking too difficult for Zakharova to handle, the 2021 U.S. Open winner continued to exert her dominance in the first-round contest. A slight wobble occurred during the eighth game, with Raducanu forced to rally from 15 to 40 down, but she fought back admirably. Even though Zakharova broke when Raducanu had been set to serve for the match, the 23-year-old regrouped and secured victory in the next game to make a much-needed strong start in Indian Wells. In tennis, breakthrough moments often arrive suddenly. One match, one performance that shifts the trajectory of a player's tournament, and sometimes even their career. Eala's victory over Ukraine's Diana Yastremska at the 2026 Indian Wells Open represents exactly that kind of moment. By defeating a seasoned WTA competitor in a demanding three-set battle, Eala not only advanced in the tournament, but also sent a message to the rest of the field. She is ready to compete deep into one of the biggest events on the tennis calendar. The match itself was a demonstration of resilience and tactical maturity. Eala defeated Yastremska 7-5, 4-6, 7-5 in a tightly contested contest that lasted nearly 3 hours. The scoreboard alone reflects the intensity of the battle. Both players traded momentum across 3 sets, with neither willing to surrender control. Yastremska unleashed powerful serves and aggressive ground strokes, but Eala countered with composure, consistency, and timely shot-making. What makes this win particularly significant is the quality of the opponent. Yastremska is not an easy first hurdle. A 3-time WTA champion with a career-high ranking inside the world's top 25, she has long been known for her explosive style and ability to overwhelm opponents with power. For a young player like Eala to navigate that challenge under pressure speaks volumes about her development. One of the most impressive aspects of Eala's performance was her ability to handle adversity. Despite facing 8 aces from Yastremska and several intense service games, she remained composed. The Ukrainian also committed numerous double faults, 15 in total, but Eala still had to earn the majority of her points through patience and tactical awareness. She repeatedly absorbed Yastremska's pace, extending rallies and forcing errors at critical moments. This ability to balance defense with opportunistic offense is increasingly becoming Eala's trademark. That style of play suits Indian Wells perfectly. The tournament's hard courts are slower than many other venues on the WTA Tour, rewarding players who can construct points rather than relying solely on raw power. Eala's left-handed ground strokes, heavy topspin, and intelligent court positioning make her particularly dangerous in these conditions. Against Yastremska, she demonstrated how effectively she can neutralize aggressive hitters by redirecting pace and opening angles. Early round matches in a prestigious event like Indian Wells can define a player's confidence for the remainder of the tournament. By defeating a proven opponent in a high-pressure environment, Eala has given herself the belief that she belongs among the top competitors in the draw. Confidence, after all, is often the invisible factor that transforms promising performances into deep tournament runs. Another reason this win positions Eala for success is the momentum she carries from previous big-stage performances. In recent seasons, she has shown flashes of brilliance on the WTA Tour, including a stunning run at the Miami Open where she defeated multiple top players and captured global attention. Those experiences have prepared her for the spotlight and the physical demands of high-level tournaments. Equally important is her tactical maturity. Young players often struggle with shot selection under pressure, but Eala's decision-making continues to improve. Against Yastremska, she showed the patience to wait for the right moment to attack rather than forcing winners too early. She also demonstrated excellent court awareness, frequently drawing her opponent wide before finishing points with precise cross-court shots. Looking ahead in the Indian Wells draw, Eala's path remains challenging. The tournament regularly features the world's best players, many of whom excel on hard courts. However, the nature of her victory suggests she has the tools to compete with them. If she can maintain the same level of discipline, physical endurance, and mental composure displayed against Yastremska, she has every chance to advance further into the tournament. Another factor working in Eala's favor is her adaptability. Throughout the match, she adjusted her strategy depending on the situation, sometimes engaging in long rallies, at other times stepping inside the baseline to apply pressure. This flexibility is essential in a tournament like Indian Wells, where players face opponents with vastly different styles. Moreover, Eala's youth and energy give her an edge in grueling matches. Long rallies and extended three-set battles often test a player's stamina, but Eala has consistently shown the ability to outlast opponents physically. Her training background, including years of development at the Rafa Nadal Academy, has instilled in her the discipline and conditioning required for marathon contests. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of this victory is what it represents for the future. At just 20 years old, Eala is still developing her game. Each win against established WTA players adds another layer of experience and confidence. If she continues to build on performances like this, she could soon become a regular contender in the later rounds of major tournaments. In many ways, the win over Diana Yastremska feels like the start of a story rather than its climax. It is the kind of result that energizes both the player and the fans, creating anticipation for what comes next. Indian Wells has long been known as a tournament where rising stars announce themselves to the tennis world.